Welcome to Buzz Around the Globe. When the invasion of Ukraine began in February 2022, some analysts predicted it might take as few as 3 days for Russian forces to capture the capital of Kyiv. With the war now entering its third year, Russian President Vladimir Putin seems to be trying to turn that initial failure to his advantage by biding his time and waiting for Western support for Ukraine to wither while Moscow maintains its steady military pressure along the front line. Putin's longer timeline still has its downside, with the conflict taking a heavy toll on Russia by draining its economic and military resources and fueling social tensions, even as the death of imprisoned Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny serves as a chilling reminder of the Kremlin's ruthless crackdown on dissent. Putin has repeatedly signaled a desire to negotiate an end to the fighting, but warned that Russia will hold onto its gains. Earlier this month, he used an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson to urge the United States to push Ukraine, which he called its satellite, into peace talks, declaring that sooner or later we will come to an agreement. But there are some recent developments that have fed the Kremlin's optimism. Firstly, aid for Ukraine remains stuck in the US Congress while NATO allies have struggled to fill the gap following Ukraine's underperforming counteroffensive last summer. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky's decision to dismiss his popular military chief disappointed many in the country and worried its Western allies. And Donald Trump, who has repeatedly claimed that he could negotiate a quick deal to end the war if elected, recently spooked NATO by saying he could allow Russia to expand its aggression in Europe if alliance members fail to increase their defense spending. Although Putin may have publicly said he prefers the predictable Biden in US office, a possible Trump return to the White House would serve Putin's goal. He sees Trump as a person likely to wreak havoc and believes the consequences of a second Trump presidency would be to weaken the West and deprive Ukraine of the support it really needs right now. As the Kremlin watches for more signs of crumbling Western support for Ukraine, Russian forces captured the eastern stronghold of Avdiivka over the weekend after a fierce battle in which Ukrainian forces reported an increasingly desperate shortage of munitions. The seizure set the stage for a potential Russian push deeper into Ukraine-held territory. In this way, the Russians are maintaining a consistent pressure on a number of points. Amid the fierce battles in the east, Russia also has sought to cripple Ukraine's defense industries with a steady series of strikes. It has used long-range cruise and ballistic missiles as well as Iranian-made drones to saturate and overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses that are experiencing a growing shortage of munitions. In terms of Russian industry's capacity to support ongoing operations, Russia has significantly mobilized its defense industry, increasing shifts and expanding production lines at existing facilities, as well as bringing previously mothballed plants back online. This has led to significant increases in production output. Although Russian arms industries continue to depend on Western supplied components, arguing that tighter enforcement of sanctions could disrupt this. And after opposition leader Navalny's death, Biden yesterday made a remark about increasing sanctions on Russia. This could be problematic for Russia. The Russian military is also facing multiple challenges. The former chief of military's general staff admitted that Ukrainian air defenses have effectively barred Russian warplanes from Ukrainian airspace and often make it risky for them to operate even over Russian-controlled territory. Western officials and analysts note that while the 1,500-kilometer or 930-mile front line has remained largely static with neither side making significant gains, Ukrainian forces have launched bold missile and drone attacks deep behind the line of contact, raising the cost for the Kremlin and challenging Putin's attempt to pretend that life in Russia is largely unaffected by the war. Ukraine has launched audacious attacks on oil terminals and refineries deep inside Russia, as well as its naval and air assets in the Black Sea region, in a painful blow to Moscow's military capability. Western officials praised the efficiency of Ukrainian attacks, noting that Kyiv has smartly used its limited resources to rout far more numerous Russian forces and destroy about 20% of the Black Sea fleet, effectively ending Moscow's maritime dominance over there. Putin, who is all but certain to win another 6-year term in the March elections, has sought to consolidate public support by casting the conflict as a fight against the expansionist West that has armed Ukraine in a bid to weaken Russia. Even though he claims the public overwhelmingly supports what the Kremlin calls its special military operation in Ukraine, new cracks have emerged in the country's tightly controlled political system. Despite challenges, Russia's vast economic and military potential gives Putin the ability for a lengthy war, while the world grows weary and has another war now to focus on, the war of Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.